off. Okay. There we go. Time to get organized. Oops. Stay. Hi, Annie, can you hear me okay? You're the first one on. And I'm doing good, thank you. Busy day. Trying to get all cleaned up. Shooting another tutorial for the dandelion today. How are you? I vacuumed, sort of. My carpet still looks terrible. You can hear me perfect. That's what I like to hear. Hopefully no high-pitched sounds today. I still don't know what's caused that. I gotta sit with my legs up. I'm dressed really classy today, hey? Hello, Ms. Anna. Look, I'm wearing my sewing pants today. I forgot to change. So I'm styling in my black camo today. Oh, what did you end up picking, Annie? I know that you weren't sure what you wanted. Look, we've come on alphabetically. Anna and Annie first. Hi, Wanda. Oh, and then all the way to the bottom of the alphabet. How are you today, Wanda? Black vinyl and purple cork with a purple lining. Ooh, that sounds sexy. Just give me a minute. I have a designer messaging me here, so. Anna does like her some purple, that's for sure. So did you all see the tutorial for mine? It turned out so good. Oh, Annie's doing the bat flap. I can't talk. Anna's doing the bat flap too. Say bat flap 10 times fast. Bat flap, bat flap, bat flap. It's impossible. I just love this pattern though. It's so good. Wanda, they were easy. I ended up for my cording. I should show you what I used for my cording. I actually used rope. Let me grab it. Where is it? Got it here somewhere. Give me a moment. Where the heck did I put it? There it is. So I was having a hard time finding cording that was substantial enough, so I just went to Home Depot and I bought some of this, and it worked perfect, and it fit into this perfectly. And then it's just like doing piping, and then all I used to hold it in place was the Gorilla Glue and then the screws, and it worked well. So yeah, this is just, it's like 1/4 inch polyethylene or whatever it is, rope, and that's what I used in my Bringberry handles. Hi, Diane. And it worked really good. I unfortunately can't show you guys how to do the handles because that's a Bringberry tutorial that is sold with the handle. So I can't show you how to do it for the Bringberry ones, unfortunately. So you'll have to follow that. Weren't you at work, Annie? How's Miss Diane today? So Wanda, what you're going to run into if you watch my tutorial, because these handles, the Bringberry handles, are way wider than the handles that she uses in the pattern. I learned the hard way, but thankfully it was just cutting a bigger hole, so it really didn't make a big deal about it. But I'll show how we are going to accommodate for different sizes of handles, and I'll help everybody along for that. You're waiting for the handles to come in? We won't need them till next week, Diane, so you should be good. But we will be doing them next week for sure. No, for the Bringberry, when you buy the handles from Bringberry, she emails you the tutorial on how to do it. And it's actually just a written tutorial. But yeah. You can definitely make it without the handles, Kim. You would just be leaving out the hole there and just doing a flap, and then it's just a crossbody, which is just as nice. That's funny, Annie. You can make it without, Anna, no problem. All you'll be doing is omitting the handles, and when we get to the part where we're doing this hole in the flap, you just won't be doing that. You'll just be making a regular flap. It's actually a lot easier to do it without the handles, to be honest. But you don't need the handles. It's actually it's a very versatile pattern. If you watch the end of the tutorial, there's 2 finishes. Originally, I wasn't going to do it, but it's just like how we did on Daryl's Drive with sewing all the way around this gusset area. And so if you don't do that, you get what the first pictures were, where it's a more rectangular type of tote type looking bag. And then it looks like this when you actually do it. But I'm not going to lie, it was super thick here, and I honestly don't know if my industrial or my domestic would have made it through this thickness. But yeah. Diane, you might go without the handles too? Yeah, I said if you can imagine it without the handles. So I guess let me just tuck them inside so you can kind of see what it would look like. Just imagine it not having a hole in the top. I mean, it makes a pretty nice looking crossbody bag too, see? But you just wouldn't have that hole in the top. I'll explain both ways. Making without the handle, you'll just be watching us do a big chunk of making this bag is actually making this hole in the top. It's kind of a pain in the rear, but it's worth it, I think. So and of course I chose the more squared flap because that's my preference. There's the bat one, and then there's another one as well. You're not sure about the handles, Kim? Did you buy these handles or did you buy the ones that she suggested in the pattern that are shaped like a cat? They're actually really easy to install. It's just making this hole in the top of the flap, but that's what you got me for, right? And making the handles was really easy. I mean, here's my white ones. Look how nice they look. I'm doing white with rose gold for our class bag. They turned out really good too. So we'll give it another 5 minutes or so to see who else pops in. Am I missing anybody here? I didn't mark Kim down. Kim. Two, three, four, five. The same as mine. Said they were really easy to make. I used Gorilla Glue to glue them in. And as I was saying to Wanda, finding the cording that would fit in that channel I found challenging because I have all this cotton cording that I use here, but it was too soft. But I went and I bought this rope from Home Depot. It's 1/4 inch. I think the word is polythyrol, whatever. I can't say the words. Can you use cotton for? You can do this in non-fraying fabric, Annie. Yep. You can definitely do the whole bag in cotton if you wanted. There are no raw edges except for, of course, the zipper overlay, which isn't really in the pattern. That's a Brandy thing. So, but yeah, for the cording in the handles, if you got the Bringberry ones, this rope 1/4 inch worked perfect. And this was only like $5 at Home Depot. It was super cheap. So I think this would be really good for doing rounded handles and everything too. So my husband came up with that idea, actually. He's a brilliant man sometimes. Yay. But yeah, Annie, you can definitely do this whole bag in cotton. Now I can tell you, Bethany does design her bags on an industrial machine, but she tries to keep domestic friendly ideas in for her patterns. That's why there's 2 ways of finishing it. There's 2 ways of doing the zipper panel. One is more domestic friendly than the other. Hi, Frankie. Oh, that's okay, Frankie. You can always do the Melanie later on too. But yay, I'm glad that you joined us and you're listening. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to be doing mine in a bonded leather from Galaxy Customs, the white bonded leather, and a cotton lining as per usual. Rose gold hardware, which I think is going to be super nice. All right, another minute or so, and then we will get started. How many does it say? I have 8 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing a person. Who am I missing? So far in here, I have Anna, Annie, Frankie, Kim, Wanda, and Diane. Am I missing anybody? So there's 8 in there, including myself. I have 7 marked down, so I'm missing 1 person. Unless somebody's watching on 2 devices, that happens too. We did have a few members leave us for a month, 4 actually, but they're apparently messaged me and most are coming back next month, hopefully. Oh, Annie, I'd love to have 2 for the movie. The more the merrier. Speaking of the movie, I'm doing the Apothecary video this weekend, so if you haven't got me your apothecaries and you have them, please do. All right. Who is cutting along with me today? And who is watching? Again, I always ask because it sets the pace for how fast I go. Oh, and when it comes to putting on the foam interfacing, please, please, please watch the tutorial. You'll see in the tutorial I was able to do timestamps, and they're all labeled. I was so proud of myself that I figured out how to do that. And Miss Anna gave me a hint on how to make cutting the foam back after you've basted it on easier, and I did it in the video. And do you know what? It was easier, and I got it tighter to the basting stitches and out of the seam allowance more. So yeah, definitely watch my tutorial at the connecting the foam part to see what that is, because doing the interfacing, of course, will be homework. So okay, so we have Diane and Anna, or Diane and Annie cutting with me today. Okay, and Diane. Wanda's watching. That is how you cut yours, Diane? You already did that trick? That's awesome. It's so easy. And so Anna and I were having our weekly Best Gal Pal FaceTime call, and she's like, you know, you should try this. I'm like, all right. And I tried it, and I'm like, well, gosh, look at that. So much easier and so great. You don't have your lining, Diane? That's okay. What lining? You just haven't chosen it out, or you can't decide on your lining? It is so much easier. It just gives you that little extra to hold on to, rather than trying to be like, yeah, it's just like, wow, my mind was blown. Thank you, Anna. So going forward, that is how I will be doing my foam from now on. Lexi's cutting but still looking for fabric. So Lexi, should we be starting with the exterior or the lining for cutting for you then? If you need more time to do one. Okay, we will start at 1/4 here. We'll give it another 2 minutes. I still don't know who the mystery person is, but that's okay. Actually, do you know what? I should send a link to this to Bethany in case she wants to pop in and say hi. Let me just send this to her. 1 second. Can't see the screen for a minute. Just going to send Bethany a quick message. There we go. We'll see if she is available to pop in. Oh, you don't have anything that goes with the vinyl? All right. So then let's start with the exterior then, I guess, hey? Give another minute. I think we have all that's going to join us. So that's 7 of 21 people. That's okay. This is a fun bag though. Yeah, it's good. Can you guys tell Coco is behaving herself today? There's no bear in the front yard like there was last Thursday when she was just losing it. Oh my gosh. She's much better today. And Brady is home, so he will be keeping her in check. Benny is over there sleeping in his basket. You have some, but you don't think you have enough. So Diane, what you should do is when you're cutting with us, leave stuff, the lining stuff like the zipper pocket and the slip pockets and that kind of thing, because those could always be different colors. You can do them later and just do all the main pieces with us with your lining if you have it. You'll see for like this one here, because I use scraps of my Mora. I only had scraps of this vinyl. So like my slip pocket is black. And then my zipper pocket on the inside, all my, well, I made my inside slip pocket black. And then my zipper pocket lining pieces are black as well. So I usually cut the main pieces out and then Ready to go. You're so not organized today, Kim. Aw. Are you cutting with us, Kim, or are you watching? How unorganized are you? Is there anything you guys want to see with the demo bag before we get started that you want to see closer? You could definitely do a turn lock here too if you decided you wanted to do a turn lock instead of the magnetic snap. That would work. All right, well, let's get me organized and then we will get started. Kim, you're cutting too, okay. Let me mark you down. So I have Annie, Lexi, Diane, and Kim cutting along with me today. Excellent. Sorry, Bethany's just answering me. She can't come today, but she might come see us next week. Okay. Alrighty. Half moon magnetic snap. Yep, that would work. It would just be quite low down here, just so you have an idea, because it would be sitting on this edge. So you may have to play with where you're putting your magnetic snap with that, but that's done. Hi, Nicole. The vent dude just left. Oh, you're talking your vents, not Maddie. Awesome. I bet you're relieved to have your vents in your new house down. Then you know it won't catch fire. That's always a good thing. Your husband doesn't like the handles, Annie. Did you sew all of the lining when you sewed the gussets? Do you know what, Wanda? Honestly, on the inside, I thought I had caught the linings, but I didn't. Hi, Lise. We've missed you too. So when I went around to stick in my gussets, I was pushing my lining this way and thinking I got it. But you know what? You didn't. See? So I wouldn't worry about trying to catch that lining because I epically failed at it. I totally thought I had it, but it really makes no difference. And you know what? The inside of my bag is just fine too, see? So yeah. So no, I did fail at catching the lining when I did the around here, but that's okay. Oh, Nicole, your vents were nasty, hey? Hey, gotta love moving into a new home. Lisa, we missed you too. Are you all settled in? All right, but it is 20 after, so I guess we should get a cutting. Any other questions about the demo bag? Whoops, before we move on that you want to see? Any questions about handles or any of that before we get on with the pattern and the cutting? I made mine with one roll of vinyl, yep. Actually, I made mine with less than a roll of vinyl, to be honest. I used scraps. As long as you have enough length to do the crossbody strap, you are good. All the other pieces aren't that big. Oh my goodness, Annie. Well, you know, husbands. All right, we ready to cut? No more questions about this? If you do, if any questions pop into mind, feel free to ask. Again, the tutorial is up. Super proud of myself again because I figured out how to do chapters. So when you look at my tutorials now, they actually have timestamps, so you can kind of skip to whatever you want to see, which is great. All right. So we're going to want to pull out our cut sheet. Now her patterns are written a little different than I am used to. The pages are not numbered, but you will find the cut sheets closer to the end of the pattern. So that is what we're going to use to mark off our pieces as we go. This is what I was talking about the Bringberry sends a tutorial on how to do these if you need it. I can't do a tutorial showing it because That is part of the Brandy designed hardware. She did not give me permission to do that, so I cannot do those handles. If you got them with you, you'll have to do those ones on your own. So we have 3 different flap versions you can choose. You can do the, where do I have it here? These are the 2 I'm not doing, so you can do a batwing one. The only difference with the batwing one is you may need to move up the snap placement a little bit. You have this rounded one, and I'm doing the one that is more square. There you go, Annie. So yeah, you don't need a full row. Maybe 2/3 of a roll. Yeah, at least I'm proud of me too, eh? My admin Melissa's been asking for them. I'm like, I have no idea how to do them, but my son helped me with that, and it was actually super easy. What is the name of those handles? Let me get I will send you the link here, Frankie. It's a Canadian company called Brandy. Let me just find them here for you. 1 second, and then we'll get going. I can't see the chat for a second here, so just bear with me. Okay, so this is where I got these handles from. And as I said, so it's just the metal part that comes, and then you make your own cording with your faux leather or your cotton or whatever. My biggest challenge was finding a cording that was big enough to fit in this channel. I have a lot of cotton cording, but it just wasn't quite, it didn't have enough oomph to it, and I wanted it to be really hard. So my husband came up with the idea to use this rope. So this is 1/4 inch rope. Yeah, it's 1/4 inch that I just picked up at the hardware store at Home Depot, and it worked perfectly. And I honestly think this is what I'm going to use in my rolled handles going forward. It's just brilliant, and it was super cheap. It was only like $5 for many meters. I don't know how many's in there. I lost my packaging, so yeah. I cheat and do webbing. I just placed an order with Brandy, hoping it will ship today or tomorrow. She actually shipped pretty fast. This was my first and only order I've ever had from her, which was for the metal handles, and I had them within a week, and she's way across the country from me, so it was pretty fast. Wanda says, Annie, compensating foot is awesome to do your 1/8 inch stitching, 1 straps. I have the 1/8 and the 1/4. Yes, I actually have an 1/8 inch compensating foot too, but I usually just use it when I'm doing my top stitching on my cylinder arm, but it definitely helps get nice straight seams for sure. I wish they had a 3/8 of an inch compensating foot. I would be in heaven, but they have like a 1/4 and they have a 1/2, but they don't have 3/8, and I don't get it. All right, any questions about the handles? Oh, Diane, yours took a week to ship? Wow, maybe she has a shipping day and ships them all at once. So it took a week to ship and then get to you, or? Oh, they did have the hurricane. Yeah, I ordered mine before the hurricane, so maybe that's the problem. I ordered mine back in August, before the hurricane on the Maritimes. But yes, I definitely recommend this for rolled handles and for those Brandy things if you're going to be using those. And all I used for glue, I used, I'll show you. In the channel, I stuck Gorilla Super Glue. This is the glue I used, and it worked well. And then the screws. All right, let's get going. Trying not to lose all my pieces. So I'm going to be going down the cut sheet. I'm sure the Juki has one for sure, Annie. The Titan ones would fit on your Juki because they're like the same machines. All right, so let's start. Let me put you down. I actually checked this and I probably should have. There we go. Okay. So these are what I've decided to use. I'm using the white bonded leather from Galaxy Customs, rose gold hardware, and I found this at, this is Riley Blake. I got this at Fabricland, so it's got this rose gold print, and this is going to be my lining. I think it's going to be super, super duper pretty, so I hope my vision is right. So, okay. I'm going to start with my full roll first because I'm going to do my straps first. I always start with my straps just to make sure I have enough length. I don't want to accidentally cut them out. So it feels so fancy when it has this cling foam on, and then it just all sticks to me. All right, so now where did my pen go? I just had you. You're over here. All right. So let's start with drawing our, oops, that will be so chic, Brandy. I think so, Lise. I hope so. I think it'll be pretty. I've never done white and rose gold before, but I've seen people do white and rose gold. And I'm really hoping that it'll help sell it really well at my markets in November. So thanks, Anna. Okay, so we're going to do 4-inch crossbody to the width of a full roll of vinyl, so 54-ish inches. That's what I do all mine, just to the width of the vinyl. So I'm going to do mine. There's to my 24-inch ruler. While I'm here, I'm going to go down to the 2-inch line and do just my dashed line. This is where you'll be folding in. I'm just going to double check, because sometimes when you use white, the pen shows through and we don't want that, but I'm okay. Usually on some vinyls, if they're thinner, sometimes the pen, when you're using white, will show through, in which case I would usually switch to a pencil, but this one's okay. Again, you can do this bag with just the crossbody and it looks really nice too. Thanks, Nicole. I think it'll be nice. I like to say it was my idea, but I copied somebody, so just because I saw the same combination, not in this bag, but for that. All right, so I am going to cross off my crossbody strap. I think that's the only thing of great length we need to worry about, so we can continue cutting. So I'm actually going to put the crossbody strap aside because that's a full piece of vinyl or faux leather. So I'm going to use up my scraps here for a couple pieces and then I'll come back to this one. Just because I want to use up my leftovers first. Kim, you're using Galaxy Custom Splash Paint? Yeah. Oh yeah, Anna says it won't show through, but don't get it on the face. Can't guarantee it will come out easily. No, most pen won't come out easy. For sure. Ask me how I know. All right, so the main panel piece, let me find it. We're going to do two 10 by 13 pieces. So let's see if it's going to fit across here. We're going to go this way. This way. See, I'm trying to think of how to use up my faux leather here in the most productive way with the least amount of waste. Always watch where your selvage is. I never go quite to the end. And we are going to trace these out. You can use a ruler if you want. I don't have a 13-inch ruler, so it's just easier for me to use this. My biggest ruler is 12.5 inches. So we want to draw out 2 of these. Now, her patterns are a little bit different, and this threw me for a loop. So if you are using directional fabric, make sure you go the right way. Most patterns will put their sizes width times height, but she does her patterns height times width. So it's completely opposite than what you would think. So this one is 10 inches high and 13 inches wide. So if you are doing directional fabric, make sure you know that the width is the second number. So she does height times width, which is completely opposite for most pattern designers. Nicole says, is anybody else's husband super noisy during class time? Maddie, be quiet. No, you don't have to. Is he singing songs? My husband's at work. He's been working a ton of overtime. So yes, as I was saying, if using directional fabric, take into account that Cassiopeia patterns write their measurements down height times width, which is opposite from most. I actually think they're the only ones I know of that do it that way. Everybody else is usually width times height, but it does make a difference if you are using print for sure. So we need 2 of these. I just love that Coco is being quiet today. Knock on wood. Compared to last week anyways. I did take her for a quick walk before this, so that helps a lot. Okay. So this is our main and our main. Oh, Nicole. Maddie, Maddie, Maddie. All right. So where's my cut sheet? So that's the main fabric vinyl done. Let's do our bottom panel next. Now, one thing I did in this is I did add in purse feet. You guys can decide if you want to do that. I will share my purse feet placement with you. It is not part of the pattern, but I like me some purse feet, that's for sure. So you need 1. Am I doing... And another thing I did with this is she does not add in Peltex into the bottom of hers, and I will. Or like a heavy interfacing into the bottom. But you can completely do it the way she does it as well. That's just my preference. So take note, if you are going to be doing Peltex or Decaville Heavy in the bottom, you will also have to cut a piece, a Peltex or Decaville Heavy piece, 3.5 inches by 12 inches. Because we won't be cutting the interfacing together, but that Peltex piece, you will want it to be 3.5 by 12 inches if you're going to be adding it into the bottom like me, because you're putting in purse feet. Okay, so that is the bottom panel drawn. All right, why don't we... I'm just trying to use up as much of this as I can. Let's draw in our... Get my smaller ruler. I am going to do my typical zipper overlay on the inside. So I'm just going to make a, actually first, slip pocket of 12 inches. So I'm going to make my slip pocket accent piece. I'm going to cut it to 12 inches to 1.5 inches for if you're doing the zipper or the vinyl accent like I do. And then I'm going to draw my halfway mark at 3/4 inch just so I have that. And slip pocket. Said I do all of my bags with those in them, except for I will not be doing the dandelion like that. Brandy, I assume you also cut your handle attachment. Yes, I do. Absolutely. We will get to that. I have the measurements here if you want to mark it down, Wanda. My handle attachments, we can actually, let's cut those next. Again, draw it out however your pieces work. So for the Bringberry handles, I cut my handle attachments 2.5 inches by 4 inches. So what you're going to want to do, let me grab one. So whatever your bar is here, so this one is, it's 5 inches to 5 inches from the end to end, but from this inside bar, it's about 4¼ inches. So that's how I decided I want to cut them to 4 inches. So if you're using the Bringberry, you're going to cut your 4 handle attachment pieces 2½ inches by 4 inches. If you're not using these ones, just determine whatever the bar is where it's going to be connecting to, how wide you're going to do it. So this one, as I said, the bar itself is about 4¼ inches. So I made it 4 inches. So decide that. And then, so 4¼ inches, or 4 inches across, 2½ inches high. So 4 inches by 2.5 inches. That's width times height. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm going to draw my 4 out right now of those. So I'll draw 2 here on this side. So that's 4 inches and 2½ inches. You can tell I really, really like to try to use as much as I can here. And then we need 2 more like that. 4 inches. What am I trying to do here? Okay, no, this will work. I'm going to cut a little bit into my slip pocket accent here, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 4 inches. By 2½ inches. Okay, so this will be the handle connectors. The slip pocket overlay, I did 1½ inches by 12 inches. 11 or 12 inches ish. Said because I do them a little different. That's what I cut it to. Okay, so those are the 4 handle connectors. Good questions. And if you are on a domestic machine, I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend you do your handle connectors in cotton rather than in faux leather. The reason being, whoopsies, when we go to put them on, they are all the zipper overlay here. The connector pieces are folded in half, as you can see, as well as the lining, the interfacing, and the exterior all go into one seam. So, and then eventually, depending if you do this like me, I top stitch through this, you have to go through all of that thickness. So you want to make sure that your machine can handle it. If you're on a domestic, I would strongly recommend using the cotton way of doing this, which is where you would sew them right sides together and then turn them out. Does that make sense? Okay. What else do we need for vinyl? Side panel pieces. Not going to do that one yet. Okay. I can put this piece away and I'll bring out my other piece now. And we can finish it off. Watch I don't get my pen on the wrong side. Okay. Side panels. So we want to cut out 2 side panels. So again, we're going to trace them out. Oopsies. Let's get that nice and straight where it's supposed to be. Again, you can just place this on the fold and cut it rather than drawing it out. Drawing it out, I just like to do because I like to get the most out of as I can out of my vinyl pieces. And there's nothing worse than you've cut out and then you found out that you didn't choose a good placement and you're out of your vinyl or your fabric. So this way you can always readjust and redraw if you need to. And that's why I choose to do it this way. I think I said that every time. I must sound like a broken record. So that's one. second one. Side pieces, side. Let's set that aside for now. We got our side main vinyls. Front slip pocket. Front slip pocket, I can't talk today. We're going to cut one. I'm going to do it right up here. Oh, Wanda, you'll catch up. It's all good. It's only cutting day. Oh, somebody's coming in the room. Okay, there's that piece done. Front slip pocket, one main vinyl. Main zipper panel. Okay, so I'm doing my, oops, there's Coco. I'm doing my zipper panels in all vinyl. You can do them in all cottons if you wanted to reduce the bulk a little bit. Again, these will be in the seam allowance with the handles as well as the front and the lining. So I'm going to cut out, or I'm going to draw out 4 of these. You could also do 2 exteriors and 2 lining pieces if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. Uh-oh, Coco and the neighbor's dog are barking together now. They egg each other on, I swear. Brady'll get them. One. Ooh, here comes the hot flash. Oh my goodness. Sweating. I swear I was freezing all day, and of course I am super hot as soon as class comes. Oh, look at that. Perfection. I just love it when I have little to no waste of my vinyl. Here comes Coco, Miss Coco Beans barking away. Okay, so that's my zip panels. Zip. Hi, Coco. Say hi to everybody. Don't bark, though. You make my microphone go crazy when you bark. She's pretty quiet today, which is good. Okay. So that's the zipper panels done. And now the gigantic flap. Oh, not so lucky. Okay, we'll do it down this way. So looking at this, to answer who's ever question, if you could do it in one 18-inch roll, you might need 1.5. Because this is all I'm going to have left right here. 1 1/4, something like that. But if you didn't have the crossbody strap, probably wouldn't be a problem at all. Just draw it out first to make sure you have enough. Okay, you don't want to cut this part out. Well, you can cut this part out of the pattern piece, but we're not cutting that part out of our lining and our exterior pieces. I made that mistake the first time I did it, where I cut all that out. Don't cut that out. That is something that we do at a later time. Learn from my mistakes. I mean, it still all worked out fine, but I was crying for a moment. So yes, you're going to, this handle cutout part, you're not cutting that part out. That'll be later on. There's our flap. And then I think okay. Oh, that's the handle attachment. We're not doing that. Did we cut out our crossbody connectors yet? I don't think we did. Okay. All right, because that's coming up here. So next is our crossbody connectors. Where's my little ruler that I like to use for that? There it is. I'm going to put it right here. You're going to cut 2 of them, 2 by 4 inches. Again, I like to do my halfway mark for when I go to make those, and it's already done for me. Now if I could remember to do that with marking all my centers, I'd be golden, but that'll never happen. Connector, connector, and then keep in mind, if you haven't made your handles, you're going to have to cut this out as well as per your Bringberry pattern piece. Our switch to these ones here, yes, it is a joined piece. Okay, her patterns are a little different that way, where they don't have, you know how most will have like something like that? Hers don't. Hers will just say flap version C attached to the top. So this top flap here, this top part, goes with all of the flap versions. So yeah, when you're reading Cassiopeia patterns, you kind of have to, if you see something that says top of flap or bottom of flap, you know that you got to look at the other one and it'll tell you if you're attaching it to the top. So this piece, you definitely had to do that. So many different ways that people write patterns, and sometimes deciphering them is a little tough, but yeah, that one is there. I almost actually made that mistake. I'm glad you pointed it out, Diane, because I didn't notice that. And originally in my first one, I cut this top part out and I cut the second part out separately. And then I'm like, ah, and then I did it properly again, but then I cut out this out, and I'm like, no, I'm running out of vinyl. But luckily I had to cut my hole bigger here so I could reuse that piece in a sneaky way that I did it, so. Oh no, Diane, you don't have enough. Not good. Did you only have 1 roll or not quite? I guess you need 1 and a little bit. Not good. All right. So now we can go ahead and cut out all of these pieces and put them with their corresponding pattern piece, and then we'll go to the lining. Where is my rotary cutter? There it is. Oh, you had 1 roll. Yeah. Said I wasn't sure. Both of mine, I did it with 1 and a little bit. But all my rolls were already started, so I wasn't 100% sure. Is there any way you can draw them differently so they will all fit on better? You'll just go get some tomorrow? Okay, that works too. That is why I always buy my vinyl rolls in 2s. 9 tenths out of 10, you can make a full bag with 1, and then you just never ever think about it, right? And this one is an 18-inch. You definitely would need 2 12 inches if you're doing it. But yeah. And then when you have leftover vinyl, you can always use it for stuff like wallets to match, what have you, that kind of thing. Okay, so there's my crossbody strap. So crossbody strap, of course, will be homework, but you don't need it till the last class. You're going to start buying 2. Yeah, it's a good habit to get into. You do end up having extra. I said 9 times out of 10 you are not using 2 full rolls, but I think it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, crossbody strap. See, and I have enough here. I could probably make a matching classic zip around wallet. If I wanted to. It's just a matter of finding time to actually do that. Okay, there's my flat piece. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put this one to the side because I know we still have to cut our lining. So I'm going to put that back in my pattern to cut pile there. Oh, that's very true, Nicole. Nicole says buying 2 also ensures you're getting 2 from the same dye lot. Same goes for when you buy wool. The colors can always be just slightly different from dye lot to dye lot. Okay, there's my crossbody connectors. Okay, some scrap for later. Throw that over there as it falls on the floor. My phone's going off. I have a nice new blade on here. It's so nice. Coco says hi again. She's stomping as bad as she was last week. Thank goodness. You love that sound? Of a new blade. I just sharpened my Ginger scissors with tin foil too. I think it actually works because they're pretty sharp now. I just took some tin foil and just cut on it over and over, and now they're cutting through things really good again. And these are like my original scissors that I got when I first started sewing. So they're 4 years old. My black ones, which were just Amazon cheap specials, there's no saving them. They're done. I'll use them for cutting paper going forward. But they were only like $20 on Amazon. But yeah, I was almost going to go buy some Kai's, but then I tried the tinfoil thing with my Gingers, and it worked really good. So it saved me a little bit of money for now. Because Gingers aren't cheap either. They were $60 scissors. Whew, warm. Okay, so we'll set that aside with the pattern piece because we got to do the lining pieces for that one still. What I do is when I have lining pieces to cut, I set them in I have a paper pattern pile there for pieces I still have to cut out. There's my front slip pocket. I was going to go brave and use a rose gold type thread for this, but I think I'm just going to go white. I'm too chicken. I have looked into them, Lise. Yeah, I was actually thinking about ordering some scissors from them, but then sharpening my fingers worked. Maybe when I actually need them. I love the rainbow ones. Because, you know, rainbow cuts better, right? Oh, do you know what I didn't cut out? We have to cut out our zipper overlays too. Zipper overlay, the decorative one that we do. I'll do that after this. Yep, it sure does. And she doesn't mark what it is. So it's a side panel top, side panel bottom. So like I said, her patterns are a little bit different that way, but yes, it does need to be taped. I think I figured that out because it had what the height was here, which is 11 3/8. And I'm like, well, that piece is an 11 3/8, but when you attached it to this, it was. So yeah, 2 pieces to be taped together. Again, she doesn't have the little markings. It's a little bit different than what we're used to, but yeah, good catch. Thank you, Annie, for pointing that out. There's my main panels, and I'll set that aside because we got to do the lining for that still. I don't think so. I think those are the only ones that you need to tape. Oh my Coco. Yeah, her best friend, the Chihuahua, is walking across the sidewalk right now. She hates that little Chihuahua so much. Heaven forbid it walks across her sidewalk. That poor Chihuahua. I have a polydactyl cat. He's huge, and he will chase after that Chihuahua, and he's like 2 times the size of it. It cracks me up every time. He's a bully of a cat, that's for sure. Cats are Sir Titus, which is my orange polydactyl, and then I have a tabby calico, and her name is Princess Zelda. Okay, there's my 4 handle pieces. Okay, so you can write down for homework. For this bottom panel, if you are going to be putting on purse feet, the purse feet will be homework. It's not in the pattern. So you'll have to attach a Decaville Heavy or a Peltex piece to those sizes I gave you before, which were 2.5 by, no, sorry, I lied. The Peltex pieces need to be 3.5 inches by 12 inches. So Peltex piece, 3.5 by 12 inches. And then your purse feet, I don't think, I didn't write it down, but I put the purse feet in 1.5 inches up and 2 inches in, I believe. It is, the measurements are in the tutorial for sure on all 4, and then I did one right in the middle too. So homework will be, if you're doing purse feet, put on that extra Peltex or Decaville Heavy piece, and then your purse feet in there as well if you are doing that. All right, that aside because we got to cut the fabric for that still. Where's my zipper made pen? Okay, I'm just going to go and grab my zipper overlay template that I like to use. Oops, so I throw those on the floor. Is it going to fit on there? I'd be ever so happy. Of course not. overlay piece here. I love this one from So Yours. I use it all the time. She's so nice to send it to me. Hi, Irene. You can change all your colors now, Diane? Are you changing the colors of your vinyls, or what are we talking about? Long time no see, Irene. How are you? And homework again, if you're doing the overlays like I am, you can edge paint them if you like. You won't need them till lining class, so the third class. Stay. Looks like I'm going to cut into my hand. My template makes me stop. Don't worry about me. Oh no, Kim. Okay, so I guess we've come to the conclusion that we need about 1 1/4 inches or 1 1/4 rolls to do this bag. What did the pattern say we needed? It said I always, okay, yeah, it says you need 1 yard of outer vinyl. So 1 roll. Okay, yeah, you need 3/4 yard of outer main and 1/4 of outer coordinate if you're doing a coordinate, which I didn't. So, yeah, so sorry about that. Good night, Lise. So yes, always buy your vinyls in 2 for that reason. I said I never ever worried about it because I always have 1 1/2 at least if I've used them, or 2 or whatever, just for that exact reason. So okay, I wish you could come here. If I had the vinyls, you could borrow them from me. All right, so that is the exterior. Now homework for the exteriors is going to be, again, on the bottom, you're going to put on your Peltex or Decaville heavy piece and your purse feet if you're doing that. And then on your exterior flap, your exterior mains, your exterior sides, and your exterior bottoms, you're going to base them to foam for next class. And again, Anna taught me a really cool trick with basting foam on and getting it cut. Being able to trim it out of the seam allowance a little bit more is like genius. So make sure you check out the tutorial. There are timestamps in there, so you can just go to the timestamp that says attaching to foam and you can see that little trick. You're not sewing today, Irene? Oh yay, Kim, I'm glad you have too. So yes, so for homework for the exterior, that is what you're going to do. The flap, 2 main pieces, 2 side pieces, and the bottom attached to foam. There is an option for the front slip pocket that you could put foam on that. I didn't do that. That's going to make it super thick and kind of bulky. So I leave it up to you if you want to do that, but I did not do that. That was an optional thing that she had. So that'll be homework for interfacing the exterior. Okay, now onto the lining. Now I have to watch because I want my stripes to always be going the same way. So this is where, when it comes to her measurements, like I said, she has 10 by 13 written here, and we automatically want to think that's 10 inches wide and 13 inches high. In a Cassiopeia pattern, that is not the case. She writes all of her measurements height by width. So you want to know that going straight across is the second number and going up and down is the height of it. So super confusing, I know. So what I'm going to do is actually use my vinyl piece as my template for this one. And I'm going to cut 2 at the same time. So I'm just going to fold this wrong sides together onto each other. And 10 is the height, so the longer part is going widthwise, and I wanted my stuff to be horizontal, so that is perfect for me. taking care of grandkids. I can't wait for grandkids. So yes, if using directional fabric, make sure you have it oriented the right way, because the way she has it marked is opposite from what we would normally think. So you need 2 main lining pieces. So I'm just using my cut vinyl as my template. That's just easier for me. I think my lines are a little crooked, but oh well. And up this way. And homework again will be, if you are using cotton lining like me, you will be backing them with EB Fuse light or medium woven interfacing. So interfacing is homework. And cutting out your interfacing. So you'll cut your foam and your woven interfacing for homework and attach them. So put these pieces aside. Hi, cocoa beans. Oh, look at, she's being all lovey. You just drank water. You're slimy. Okay, and next I'm going to do my 2 side panels. Again, I'm not going to work with the fold. I'm just going to work with my actual pattern piece, and I'm going to lay it down on my fabric too thick, like so, and I'm going to use my vinyl as my template, like so, and cut around. I've been cutting out fabric and pattern pieces all day long. I got the dandelion all ready to go. I just have to film the tutorial tomorrow. I started it today. I have a tester bag that I finished cutting out that I have to make this weekend, which hopefully I'm feeling okay, because I'm going for my COVID vaccine on Friday, so wish me luck. My 4th booster. It knocked Dave down pretty good last week, but he is a man, so he's a little bit man sick. Okay. So those are the 2 lining pieces. 1, 2. So we can put those aside. You want to cut 1 of your front slip pocket lining pieces. Again, I'm just going to use my vinyl piece as my template. So this one actually seems like it uses more than the average bag, but you have to remember most don't have that very large flap, and most don't have a front slip pocket done in vinyl. So that is actually the vinyl that doesn't fit onto 1 roll, if you think about it. And it's because you have those extra pieces that aren't on most bags. It's worth it though, trust me. You've seen the bag, it's pretty amazing. And it's not a hard sew at all, it's actually pretty good. All right. Anna says, I was only tired after my 4 shots, so hopefully you'll do okay. Oh, ooh, Diane, you have a 5th one? I didn't even know they had a 5th one out yet. My parents went 2 weeks ago. Dave went last week. My age group got called up in the province this week. And then hopefully my boys will be next. So, all right. And next we have the flat piece. It's going to fit here. Of course not. Where do I want to put my flat piece? Will it fit over here? I hate wasting fabric and stuff. I want to use it to the most that I possibly can. Now for the flap, if you're using a directional fabric, keep in mind that when the flap is open, it's facing this way. So you'll want to cut it this way so your print is facing to the top. So when it's open, it's facing the right way up. So what I would do is, if you have a directional fabric, I would flip it opposite way like this So this is upwards towards the facing of the direction of your piece. Oh, I see, Diane. So is the 5th going to be just like the one you had in the States, or the ones in the States different than up here? I'm just glad it's coming in time before I go to Indonesia. I am not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous about that 20-hour plane ride and COVID. Indonesia is one of the strictest countries for COVID, so I know I'm going to be safe that way. But I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be wearing my mask probably for the whole trip because I don't want to get sick again. Oh, and then I have craft fair season coming up, so yeah, it's funny how you get anxious about those things still. I certainly do. All right, so that's the flap done. Okay. So next what we're going to want to do is, wait, what's this one? Oh, I lied. Let's do the bottom next. Will it fit across here? You need one bottom. Look at that. Nice. Oh, cocoa beans. I swear, she is a good dog. And that would be the Chihuahua coming back home from its walk. She's ridiculous. But hey, she's allowed. She had a pretty rough go the first 4 years of her life, so I give her a pass. She's a definite rescue, that's for sure. Very neglected hound dog for those 4 years. Now she's a princess. Okay. Okay, so that's done. Next, we want to cut 2 fabric pieces for our facings, what the facings are for. So they will show a little bit. Facings are for this part here, for cutting open these zippers, or not with the zipper, where the handles are going to go. You can see the black there? That's my facing. You don't really see it on the exterior too much because I kind of tucked it in and out of the way. But if you have a color that is very similar to your exterior, and then another one that's very similar in color to your lining, you may want to use those, especially the exterior. Wanda says, I think I will cut the pattern pieces except my strap. It'll give me time to order and get my vinyl. Hope that will work out for me since we need more than 1 roll of vinyl. It should work out okay, Wanda. Just draw it out first to make sure. All right, so I'm just going to do my flat pieces with the black and the gold, or the rose gold. So I'm going to fold this in half and cut this out. This piece gets interfaced as well. Where the heck? There it is. What the heck, hey? Okay, and now we have measured pieces. So let me just go through the list because I kind of went rogue on us here. Okay, so we have the 2 lining, interfacing we're doing for homework, bottom panel. You'll have to cut your Peltex piece 3.5 by 12 inches. If you're putting in purse feet, you'll definitely want to do that. Again, that's not part of the pattern. I've just added that in. So 1 main panel, 1 lining, done. Flap facing, we've cut 2 of those. That's done. Interior slip pocket. We want to cut this 12 inches wide by 10 inches high for the slip pocket. Again, I'm doing my slip pocket different than the pattern because I'm doing my typical one, so you can decide what you want to do. So I'm going to fold this up on the fold. And grab my, which ruler is it? Where are you? There you are. So we want this 10 inches high. So on the fold, I'm going to put my 5-inch line of my ruler. And then my ruler is 12 inches. So I'm just going to use this as my template, and that will give me 12 inches wide by 10 inches high. And my stripes are going the right way. So that's my slip pocket piece. Where did my flat pieces go? I didn't stick my pattern piece on them. There we go. Okay. We have our handle connectors. Side panels are done. Front slip pocket we have done. It's actually pretty fast to cut out. It's a lot of squares. Main zipper panel we have done. Zipper pocket. So for my zipper pocket, I'm doing them slightly different there because I'm using my standard overlay. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces. Again, I'm just going to fold my piece in half here. And I'm just going to go, we want to make them 10 inches wide and about 6 inches or so deep. But I'm going to have to cut along my fold. I'm cutting 2 of these, so I'll cut this basic part out and then I'll go back in. I'm one, if I don't have to use a pattern piece and I can just use a ruler, I am so game for that. Okay, so again, 10 inches wide, and I want them to be, we'll say, just under 6 inches. So like 6 and then, no, 6 inches works. 6 inches across or down. So we have 2 zipper pocket lining pieces here. Like so. And we will be turning this bag different. She turns her bag through the pocket. We are going to do my typical turning the bag through the bottom. We're going to leave an opening in the bottom and then closing up that bottom through the slip pocket just because it's a lot easier. And because we will be putting a lot of bulk through there, especially with that flap, so you definitely want to turn it through that. Okay, let me double check. Crossbody connectors are done. That's it. That is all the pieces that need to be cut. I have this much left over from a yard of fabric. I said, and I maybe used 1 and maybe 1/3 rolls or 1/4 rolls of the vinyl. That was it. So it's not quite 2 rolls, but, and it's only 5:30. That's pretty good time. So yeah, so again, interfacing will be for homework. Attach your foam to those exterior pieces. Your woven interfacing on all your cotton pieces, and that is it. Any questions about any of that? I know we all struggled a little bit with not having enough vinyl, but that's okay. Any questions at all about the pattern? Said we're finished early again, but we're gonna have some, especially next class will be a nice full class, I'm sure. Cutting usually goes fast. As everybody goes quiet. So once again, if you don't have the metal handles, we can leave them off and it can just be a crossbody. It's just as gorgeous that way. I'll explain how to do that once we get there. I like the metal connect and metal handles myself. I think they just add a certain amount of chic to it. Is everybody still there? Have I lost anybody? Are there any questions about Thursday's class that I can answer now? Said I haven't made the dandelion yet. I have it all cut out. I actually OD coated. I'm doing my first one in cotton, so I actually OD coated the cotton. So Annie, you're still here. Yay! So that's kind of nice. Diane's still here. Perfect. I never know if everybody's just working hard or what. Annie's still cutting. Cool. Bye, Maddie. Have a nice night at work. Oh my goodness, Kim. Do you have to go to work? Still cutting? Oh my goodness, I went too fast. I'm sorry. Ask questions while you cut. I am here for you. But it's mostly just squares of following. It's a pretty easy bag to cut out. That's for sure. So we'll probably call it for 5:30 today, which means I actually probably get to make a decent dinner, which is amazing. Dave is going to be working late. It's just me and Brady tonight. Alrighty. You guys still excited to do this bag? I promise it's such a nice bag. And honestly, the hardest part of the whole bag is just doing these sides. If you're doing it like this, and if you got through the Daryl's Drive, you'll get through this one just fine. Wanda's still here too. Awesome. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Please do give me your feedback on the tutorial. I think it turned out pretty good. Still really impressed that I got the timestamps on there. I'm so proud of myself. Oh, it's just phone calls, Kim, I see. That's better than having to go in though, I guess. My tutorial dandelion I'm making with a cotton print and vinyl mixture, and I OD coated my cotton panels, and with my class bag it'll be in all vinyls. I only started filming, I got it all cut out, interfaced and everything between yesterday and today after finishing doing this one yesterday. So I should be done it tomorrow afternoon or Thursday, and then I will get it uploaded for all you guys to have a sneak peek before class on Thursday as well. The dandelion, for some reason, even though I could see the sizes, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than it is, but it's really not that big. A little bit shorter than this one, I think. But one thing we'll be doing different with the dandelion is we will not be doing the zip pocket. We will be turning it through the bottom and closing it through the bottom. Ugh, graveyard shifts. I used to do them. I'm no good at it. I'm a go to bed at 9 and get up at 5 a.m. Couldn't imagine being on call all night long. But hey, Kim, you're awesome. Healthcare worker. You have all of my support. You guys do an amazing job. Oh, so you worked all day and you have to take calls all night. Yuck. All right, so if there isn't any questions, we're going to call it for the day. If you do come across any problems, you know what you can do is you can always message me, email me, get me on Facebook, whatever you need to do. There's Benny. Everybody see my old man Benny? He's molting his fur. I gave him a bath with the de-shedding shampoo and all his fur's coming out in tufts. Hi, Benny. It's my 16-year-old rescue. I've had him since he was 10 months old, though, so he's my baby. Yes, I am. I'll show you, Wanda. Let me grab it. That is why I OD coated the exterior for the cotton, because it's a lighter colored cotton and I don't want it to get dirty. Where is it? It's under one of my piles here. So this is my tutorial bag. So I am doing it in rainbow hardware, as you can see. So my lining, let me put this down too so you can actually see what I'm doing here. All right, I got rainbow hardware. So I have this lime green, just a plain lime green Moda here. And then my main panels are these cute geckos, and this is what I OD coated. I don't know if you can see the shine, but it actually makes it feel like a vinyl in a way, and it makes it water resistant or waterproof. So not quite as thick as a vinyl, like a thin vinyl, but it just gives it that nice texture. And then because it's such a light color with the whites, I figured OD coating it would be good, because then whoever does get this, they can just wipe it off with a cloth because it's OD coated. It's great. And then my vinyl accents is going to be the hot, hot, hot pink. Anna, you probably could use Scotchgard. I actually recommend to my clients to Scotchgard their bags for sure. I just like the feel that OD coat kind of gives this, gives the fabric kind of more of a vinyl feel to it. I like it. Kim's like Superwoman? Yeah, and then the reason I chose this, so this was a spoonflower fabric I ordered 4 years ago for a customer that had gypped me. That was before I had learned that when you take a custom order, make sure you take 50% down as a deposit, non-refundable deposit, when you buy your supplies, because this person chose her fabrics, chose her bag and all that, and then all we had to do was choose her vinyl, but she wanted to get the fabric in first before we chose her vinyl. And when I got the fabric in and tried to get a hold of her, she had blocked me. Like, I'm like, how rude. So I have like 2 yards of this gecko vinyl, like, and it was expensive, or not vinyl, fabric, and it was expensive because it was spoon flour. And then I also had special ordered these in for her, which are like little gecko, oops, I guess they're frogs, little frog zipper pulls. So finally getting to use them after 4 years. I thought this would be the perfect bag to do it, and I think it's going to be super cute. OD coat, Diane, I'll show you. Let me grab my OD coat. I'll show you what it is. Move all this out of the way. So what OD coat does is you interface your fabric first with your medium woven interfacing, because you want to have all of your pressing done beforehand. So what OD coat is it makes your fabric, can you guys see that? Fabric become almost like an oilcloth. So all it is it looks kind of gross on the inside, but it's like this gel. Can you see that? It's just kind of like this gel. So what I did was I attached all my fusible interfacing. So in that case, I attached my woven interfacing and my fusible fleece that's called for in that pattern. Then I laid down a piece of freezer paper to protect my surface. This Odie coat, I want to say I got from Emmeline Bags. I've had it for a while. I don't know where I got it from. I believe Emmeline Bags. I'll have to look on the website and see. I may have gotten it from Amazon. I'm not sure. But what it is you kind of spread on with this card a really thin layer evenly going horizontal in one direction until it's all coated. You let that dry an hour. Then you go again, you get more on the card and you spread it. It doesn't take very much at all to do these. And then you kind of spread it going the opposite direction, let it dry an hour, and then do it again going horizontal, and then you let it dry overnight. And then what you do is you put it in between two pieces of parchment paper and you iron it over to set in the Odie coat, and that makes it waterproof. Do you know what? I learned how to Odie coat from Sarah Lawson. Let me find that tutorial that she has. It's a great tutorial. Give me a moment. So sweetness, Odie coat. Here it is. You're probably gonna hear it. No, maybe not. Share. Copy link. So Sarah Lawson explains it so good. And it's just really great when you're using a light colored cotton or whatever. What's horrible, Kim? I missed something. I don't think it goes bad. I've had this one for quite a while. What's horrible, Kim? I missed something. Let me see if it was from here I got it. My clients, if they want, yeah, I got it from Emmeline Bags. My clients pay $5 extra when they have a cotton bag if they want it Odie coated. So a whole thing, that jar cost $16.99 at Emmeline Bags. This is where I bought it. And yeah, so that is an add-on that my customers can request if they would like their bags to have a waterproof type look to it, and it gives it kind of a vinylish type feel to the cotton. And what's good about it is if it gets dirty, you can just take a cloth and wipe it off. And it also, if it's an all cotton bag, it makes it so you can also throw it in the wash if you wanted to. But I don't think there's an expiry on it. So I've had this for a long time. In the 4 years that I've been using Odie coat, this is my second thing. Yeah, you can also use this for collage and fabric embellishing. So it says transparent and acid-free, machine washable, BPA-free waterproof gel adhesive, provides protection for projects, fabric, accessories, or objects, cotton, jeans, lace. Once dry, it creates an insulating film that resists against stains and humidity. I love it. Especially when I don't do all cotton bags very often, but when I do like to use it just because it helps keep the bag clean, especially if it is a lighter colored cotton. But yeah, if you are in the bag making business, it's definitely something to offer your clients as an add-on too. I said I will do a bag if people want it. If they want me to Odie coat it, I charge $5 extra. And I mean, it's only $16.99 for the whole thing, and I can probably do 20 bags out of that. Yes. Oh, I see. Yeah, Kim, that was horrible. That was back in the day. And it was shortly after that that I ended up having when somebody placed an order, and I was ordering their fabrics and supplies and such for it, that they had to give me a 50% non-refundable deposit. So if they backed out, I'm not going to be out any money, and nobody has ever complained about that. But yeah, I got burned that one time. I said I ordered, she originally wanted, oh my goodness, Coco. She wanted that gecko fabric from Spoon Flower, as her lining and her exterior fabrics for a Trailblazer, which is not a small bag. And that calls for 1.5 yards. And you can only order in 2-yard increments. And of course, Spoonflower is really expensive, right? Oh my goodness, Coco. It's because somebody's pulling in my driveway. I don't know who that is. Anna, I used to do the clear, you know, the iron-on vinyl. I hated it, and I went to this instead, and I like it so much better. And then you don't have to worry about accidentally hitting it with an iron later. It's fine. Definitely give it a try. You can get it from Emmeline Bags. It is great. Watch Sarah Lawson's video that I tagged there on it. That is how I learned about it 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, or whenever it was, and how I learned how to use it was through her. So Spoonflower is very expensive. I do like that it's really unique. I actually upcharge, if my clients want Spoonflower fabric, I upcharge $30 for Spoonflower fabric. Just because otherwise I can usually get fabrics on clearance for $10 or $15. But Spoonflower, I mean, I think it's like $23.49 a yard Canadian plus shipping and stuff. It's super expensive. Yeah, give it a try, Anna. If you have any questions, let me know. It's great. I really like it. I actually am doing my next 2 bags with it. I have a launch video coming, a launch tutorial coming out for a designer on Monday, and I am using cottons for that, and I went ahead and I OD coated it. And again, it kind of gives it almost like a faux leather feel to it. It's really, really kind of cool. Do we need the handle attachment in vinyl and woven handle attachment? No, you pick one or the other, Kim. If you're on a domestic, I would strongly recommend doing the woven handle attachments. But if you are on a heavy duty or domestic, vinyl, you only need one or the other. What she's done in there, and sometimes it's hard to read, is she's given options for if you're on a domestic or if you're on an industrial. Oh yes, for sure, Kim. That's the only time I've ever been burned by a client. And when I went back through the community, in the crafters community in Kamloops, it turns out she had done it to many crafters in the community. So I felt better that I wasn't alone. I mean, and I got to keep everything, but that was back in the beginning of my bag making days when I wasn't getting wholesale pricing and all that. Like, that was a big kick in the teeth because Trailblazer hardware is expensive to begin with, and that was before I got my gold membership with Emmeline Bags and everything. So I probably put $100 in to just the supplies for that bag for her to just kind of drop it, right? Oops, did I not link it up above too? I think I linked it up above as well, Anna. Did I? Yeah, I did. But yeah, definitely watch that tutorial. It's good. I love Sarah Lawson. She's the whole reason I started bag making. All right. Any other questions about anything? I was going to go over the OD code thing for the class on Thursday, so you guys will probably hear it again. But yeah, maybe I should do a tutorial on OD coding. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a surprise. Yeah, it just helps make your cottons have a longer life. It gives it a little bit more durability. It makes it easy just to wipe down. And again, it is fairly inexpensive. Like, I have done, you can see how full this is still. Can you see how full that is still? So it's down to about there. And I have probably OD coated 7 bags with it already. Yes, Kim, if you go back, I explain how to decide the measurements. Are you talking for the Bringberry? The Bringberry ones I cut 4 inches by 2.5 inches. But if you go back in the class, I explain how you come up with the measurements if you're using different ones. No, all good, Anna. You're still helping out. You actually gave a different link than I gave. I think I gave the link that's directly on our website, and you gave her YouTube channel link, so that's great. Any other questions? Trailblazer is a big bag. It's an expensive bag to make. I sell my Trailblazers for $225. I sell a lot of Trailblazers, I tell ya. Good night, Diane. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't work ahead. Don't get ahead of us. You always finish on us. No, it's okay. I think it's great. All right. If there's no more questions, I'm going to go figure out who's hanging out in my driveway. I have a feeling it is my son's friend. My son's probably out there too, but they're just... Coco's losing her poop. So I'm going to go and make some dinner. Yeah. All right. Is everybody good? Good to go? Going once. Going twice. We almost filled this whole class up still. So interfacing is homework. Purse feet is homework. That's it. There won't be a homework class because that is just typical putting on interfacing. But I'm going to go and calm Miss Cocoa Beans down. All right? Okay, everybody. I will see you on Thursday. If you have any questions, you know what to do. You know how to get a hold of me.